Welcome to FREDDOM SOAPBOX.
FREDDOM SOAPBOX.
The number one podcast
for life.
From our perspective. Namdi.
They call me Ashley.
It's our take on ally, finance, entrepreneurship, real estate.
Psychology, philosophy, our struggles, what's going on in society today, global warming, and of course, what's up with Chuck.
FREDDOM SOAPBOX, the one podcast for life.
FREDDOM SOAPBOX.
Emancipate yourself from mental slavery.
I think he's a perfectionist. If you look at his yard from the balcony, I know it's creepy, but I stare at his yard all the time. His yard's really nice.
So today we have to discuss what's obvious. The shooting, killing of an unarmed man in Wisconsin by cops who shot and killed him in front of his children. His children were sitting in front of, they didn't kill him, but they shot and paralyzed him. And clearly the guy was the cop was trying to kill him because he emptied 7 bullets into him.
What in the world?
What will go through a man's heart to shoot another man in front of his children? That I don't understand. There's no logical reason. It doesn't matter how much of a threat that person is. If it's clear that this system, the rules that apply to cops give them like crazy amount of power to be able to discharge their weapon without even attempting to investigate, to have a conversation.
Clearly he believed this entire time that there were going to be no consequences.
And what's infuriating about this is in the wake of recent protests about George Floyd's killing. It's not like George Floyd's situation is any different. If you're black or brown in this country, the country of the United States, you know that this is an all too common experience where the rules don't apply. The rules as far as criminal justice is not the same when it comes to black or versus white people. White people just get the benefit of the doubt. A white person can commit a crime and police show up and you see it, how the approach it's more civilized. They have a conversation. So what happened? So what happened, ma'am? Is there something? How many times have we seen Karens or some white woman throwing a tantrum and nothing happens to her?
They get to do whatever they want.
She gets to walk home, and it just makes the news. Recently started making news, but before that, it didn't even used to make the news. It was considered normal.
Yeah, it was fine. It was accepted. It's like she can do that. Now, people are recording, even, white women like that, just acting, just throwing a tantrum, acting ridiculous, and now there's a stereotype out there. But yeah, that wasn't a thing before. I'm just blown away that this is happening just only 2 months since the last major protest.
I'm not surprised because this has been going on forever. We're just protesting and it's become news because it's captured on camera.
Yes.
But before that, this would have happened.
How big the protests were a couple months ago, I mean, the entire country was shaken up, and
I have an explanation for that. You want to listen? You want to hear it? Okay. So here's the thing: when you want to change people, when you want to change a country or a group of people, you have to change them from within. It's not an external thing.
Of course.
Revolutions, whether it's social, economic, political, no revolution in history has
Right. So the protests that just happened, they're
has
not
been successful.
Yeah.
Revolutions fail, and there's a reason why revolutions fail, because you can have a revolution, but if the people who are involved in the revolution don't change
who they are, or their own beliefs or their philosophy, what will happen is you just have another counter revolution where one lead group of ideology is thrown out, and then how do I put it? It's the same problem, different sets of people. Like, you're not gonna, like, all these protests that we're having, and clearly the country, it's mainstream for everyone to be against racism right now, okay? But you're not gonna, just because that's happening, it's not gonna change the racist people. You're not gonna change their hearts because of this. So, well, I get the racist people are still gonna, the racist cops out there are still racist. They're still running around, and they're still capable of doing the same thing. But I'm just like, what's going on in your minds when you were making the decision to do that? Because didn't you just see what happened to the last few guys? The last few times this was caught on camera, and the country made a big deal about it.
Well, let's go.
So wouldn't this guy think that there are any kind of consequences? Like, you can't act this way anymore.
Let's go deeper with this conversation, because every time I listen to these kind of debates, it ends up just being surface level symptoms. Oh, the symptoms are, unarmed black man gets shot. The symptoms are, the police gets away again. But what's deeper? Let's go deeper. Deeper is revolutions only beget counter-revolution. If you want to change people, you change them from within. You have conversations. You actually get to the root cause of why people are hating each other. And I can tell you the root cause right now: the media. The media, which stokes fear and stokes divisiveness. I can tell you that it comes from social, economic, the wealth economic gap. The fact that people are losing the American dream. We've lost it a long time ago. People are work until they retire and still have no shot at success. The haves and have, the gaps between the have and have-nots has never been any wider. So when you combine this whole thing, and if also the fact that we don't even talk to each other very much. We've lost that interpersonal relationships that build a society. When you mix all these things up, then you have the problems that we're having today. How about we have those conversations? Why are we having conversations like painting Black Lives Matter on the road, or some corporation donating to a black charity? Like, these are band-aids for a problem that requires surgery. You need surgery to get in there. And
how would we be able to do surgery?
You have to root out the cancer. The cancer that is
hate.
But okay, listen. The few things that I mentioned, let's start with wealth inequality. That in itself alone, when you empower people to be able to create wealth for themselves, that right there, you're gonna see a natural, organic mobility of people gravitating towards
just feeling empowered.
They're empowered. When people are empowered, they have no reason to hate each other or fight each other. They actually cooperate. Because if I find out that you are capable of making my business successful, I don't care what color you are. I want you on my team. It's just like a sports team. When the sports team is successful, if each individual is playing their part, playmaking to make the team win, it doesn't matter what color that person is. Just what matters is their abilities. And I think that's what happens when you eliminate. I don't know if you can eliminate poverty, but what you can do is reduce the wealth gap. Okay, that itself. Okay, now let's bring up another issue, which is I find it's another cancer in society, which is lack of communities. We're starting to separate. We're siloing into these groups of echo chambers.
That's getting worse because of COVID. That's not helping at all.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's, people who think they're like super righteous and super liberal, or or people who think that they're super conservative. All these labels that we've adopted that don't even mean anything really. These are not eternal things. These things are they only capture this moment in time. Our belief systems now are different from the belief systems of maybe, let's say, the Mayans or any ancestors that lived here. They practice different. They have different social rules. So let me throw the question back to you. How do you address the root cause of the problems that we're having in society that's resulting in all the issues that we're seeing?
Yeah. How do you do that?
Yeah, how do you solve that problem?
Are you asking me or
Yeah.
you? Oh, okay. I thought you were. Well, if the problem is hate, the only way to drive that out is through love. And how would you be able to do that? I think it goes back to what you were saying before about like how we need to have closer communities and we need to feel empowered, so we need to love ourselves so that we can love each other. We just need to be more closer, more friendlier, more loving with each other. And I mean, if you care about the people around you, why in the world would you ever shoot them? Even if you're a police officer and you see people doing wrong, if you really care about the people in your country, you're not going to try to kill them. You are not going to hate them.
How do you teach love?
I don't know if you can teach love. You have to give love, and they have to feel it, and then they have to do the same thing to everyone else.
Okay. Just give it to them.
I think it's more of a feeling transfer that you have to do. So you'd start every person out there who's on board with giving love. You need to be smiling. Well, we can't smile at each other anymore, but you need to do kind gestures all over the place. And
why can't we smile at each other anymore?
Because of COVID, and we have to have masks.
Let's not take that stupid mask off your face.
know.
I always wonder. I never understand why some of these newscasters, they get on camera with a mask on.
It makes no sense.
the
You're going to
point?
distort your voice. No one can really read you. And I guarantee you're at least 6 feet away from the camera person and
Right.
everyone else who's on your team. No one's that close to you. So if you're afraid and you're following the rules, 6 feet is fine. You don't need the mask.
Television is really dumbing us down.
It really is.
Like we're.
I think so.
This is how society. When you think back, you wonder how is it that they're able to get everybody to march along the same beat. It's through television, through the movies, and through the day-to-day casting. Because why all of a sudden there used to be a time when I remember Americans making jokes about the Chinese wearing masks, because you know how for a long time
You're
their
right.
air has been dirty, and some of them wear masks a lot.
Yeah, and like you always see that at the airports, and a lot of Asian people walk around with masks. And we always thought that was weird.
Exactly.
Why are they the ones with masks? Why do you have masks on?
But now, how quickly we adopt.
Right.
We were just like, we went from no mask to, okay, we're all wearing masks now. And if you don't wear one, we're gonna ostracize you from society.
Right.
Mask it is. It's mask that's responsible for saving us all from COVID. Hey, look, I have no problem with wearing mask. To me, it's like wearing a pair of gloves before gardening. It's just safety. It's just one of those simple safety things you do. But I don't think we should lose our humanity over it.
Yeah, I know. You're right.
I don't think we should just start acting like
giving
idiots,
people dirty looks,
giving
and
up
being
on.
so angry at everyone who's not wearing a mask.
It's not that necessary to get to that point. It doesn't have to get to that point. Okay, so if the person doesn't want to wear a mask, okay, you still have to respect their civil liberties. You know, you can, if you have an extra if you have a mask, then put yours on. As long as one person has a mask on,
exactly,
that's all that matters.
No germ transfer is going to happen in that situation.
If you're protected,
but I think
why
the
do you
thing
care?
is, everyone's mad that, like, okay, well, if I'm wearing a mask, that's not fair. If you're not,
see, they're seeing it from that standpoint.
I think that's why people are getting mad at. They're going, well, if the masks are supposed to protect us, I don't care if, like, there's, you know, some people are wearing masks, some people aren't. Yeah, okay, I'm protecting myself, but then what about you? This isn't fair. We all need to be wearing masks. Make it fair.
Make it fair. Not
if you don't get to wear a mask, I don't want to. If you don't have to wear a mask, I don't want to wear a mask either.
So you're not.
But I'm doing it because they told me I have to, or I'm gonna catch the disease. So now I'm mad that other people aren't wearing it too. But the thing is that and they're using that to as the reason why it's still going. It's those few non-maskers. Yeah, those are the people that ruined it for everyone.
Right, I've heard that, and it's because of the ones not wearing masks. If
they'll just get with the program, we can finally go back to normal.
That's making it. That's why we're still having COVID.
There are very few non-maskers. Very few. It's almost impossible because isn't every public place, every indoor place, every establishment requiring a mask? You can't go anywhere within 6 feet of someone without a mask. So, if by the CDC standards, how are the non-maskers even spreading the disease? If everyone's staying 6 feet away and no one is going inside any type of establishment without a mask, then what?
Yeah.
Even those non-maskers that walk down the street or go to the beach with the mask, they're staying within their party. They're not like running up next to all the other people and licking them and breathing in their face. That's not happening. So there's no reason to get all crazy. Do you have anything to say?
The media is brainwashing the herd with people who choose to give up their mind to television. They've been brainwashed to believe these little things, these stupid things that are not even based on facts. They haven't been investigated just because some bubblehead on TV said it, so that means it's true. You know, something like the fact that it's non-maskers is making COVID get worse. That doesn't, first of all, if we wanted to stop this spread of this thing, it should have been we should have reacted way more quicker than we did at the beginning. When we first heard of it, it should have been like an instant shutdown, instant mask, the whole thing, just the way South Korea did it, where it was like they moved very quickly, and when you move that quickly, you stay ahead of it. But now it's too late. It's really just too late. Whatever is gonna happen is gonna happen. So it's like, just protect yourself. Stay. How about we talk more about building our immune systems and stop eating crap?
Yes.
Why don't we focus on that?
Yes. That has been my argument from the very beginning. Why are we focusing on staying away from each other or toilet paper? Why are we focused on becoming healthier? It should have been, honestly, I feel like it should have been a government mandate to not to shut everyone down and close schools and close businesses, but keep them going, test everyone, and then also make it a requirement for everyone to start taking vitamins, juicing, if there were just like healthy information going around, and if the government could actually give waivers to everyone instead of a stimulus package, how about everyone gets $500 worth of supplements from any GNC or any kind of supplement store, so everyone can get some vitamins, get some vitamin C, any kind of other healthy herbs and spices and anything like that going on at like maybe a BJ's health food store. We should have had like a monthly waiver given to everyone, and then guess what, I guarantee you so many people would have just detoxed themselves and became way healthier. And then of course, if you can't go back to work, if you can work but they test you, then you would know if you're catching it anyway. So once you catch it, you have to stay home. You're staying home for a while and you're getting better.
It didn't seem, the whole outburst seemed like a bunch of kindergarten or elementary school kids are trying to solve a pandemic. It doesn't even seem like educated people.
The first step was like, it's not coming over here, or we just made fun of it.
They made a joke about it, or they kept it on hush hush.
Yeah, it was quiet. It didn't even occur to me that it was a thing that we should actually be worried about until the beginning of March. It was like March 7th, I think.
Yeah, it was business as usual. Matter of fact, I think even Trump was like, don't even...
He didn't even bother.
There's nothing going on. It's only going to be over there. I forget what he said. He didn't... Anyway, they just botched the whole thing from the get-go.
Yeah.
Now, add that to the misinformations and on the camera and all the media, the corporate media. So then they went ahead to politicize this, which made it even worse. How can you be politicizing something this is such an emergency? It should, at this, there shouldn't even be a sides, whether it's Trump said or whether it's Pelosi said. It shouldn't matter. What should matter is facts. What is the facts? Now we don't even know what the facts are.
We don't, because before we even got the facts, we had memes. There's just information all over the place and you don't know what is what.
And then there's another world of media, the conspiracy, quote unquote, conspiracy theory media going on social media and YouTube. So it's hard I don't even know which one to believe.
Right.
I listened to, what's my friend's name again? Rose show. Brian Rose's show, where he has in London Real, where he has some of these guests that are considered controversial. And I listened to it, and
It's David Icke is what you're talking about, or are you talking about other ones?
Well, not just David Icke. He had a few people there that echoed the same sentiments, where it was like this whole thing was planned. There's a lot more sinister going on that we know of. So what they were saying kind of made sense, if you think about it logically.
How do you feel about it in your own personal opinion?
In my own personal opinion, some of what they're saying seems like it makes sense. But because I don't have enough information, it's hard for me to agree completely. You know what I'm saying? Because, okay, so on the conventional side, you have very astute individuals who are saying things like, listen, I don't believe what they're saying, what these people are saying, because it doesn't add up. And then on the David Icke camp, they're saying, you guys are just stuck in the matrix. The real powers that be, they have this thing all planned out. Look at the sequence. These things, blah, blah, blah. So I'm sitting back and then me knowing that we're just little ants in the scheme of the universe. I don't believe there's people that have that much power to really influence things. Yeah, they're wealthy people, but I also don't know if the universe allows them to have that much control.
That's not even that much control.
Aren't these things already predetermined? Isn't the universe just meant to? These things are meant to happen. It's just the way they are. So, who are these people? Who are these faceless gangsters that are running the world and pulling strings?
Well, it's not even that big, because if you're just... This is just a world issue, an Earth issue. You're talking about the universe. So no one's gonna butt into what's going on in our world.
That's my point.
Because it doesn't matter. If it were to affect, other things going on in the universe, then yeah, there would, I'm sure, be plenty of intervention. But just earthly stuff, worldly stuff here, no, I don't think so. So I'm pretty sure that those powers that be that you talk about, or the cabal, or whatever you want to use, if they're, I wouldn't put it past them. If this is all, I think that it could be real. I think that there can be an organization that pretty much runs the world.
Well, if they run the world, then their power is not that. They don't have that much power. They are only influencing our geopolitical zones as we know it. That's all. Right. That's the limit of their power.
Meaning that, yeah, they probably have this influence and all this could have been planned. But the thing is, it doesn't actually have to affect us. They don't have enough power to control us. Especially if we don't let them. You don't have to be a sheep. Only if you're a sheep will you be controlled.
My point exactly. We are eternal beings. If you see yourself as spirit, as a part of the universe, then they don't have power over you. What they really only have power is these fake world that they created. The borders, the monetary systems, just these physical things that are fickle anyway. But if you understand yourself as the powerful creation that we are, then there's no borders.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
You can go anywhere and be wherever you want to be. You even behind bars, even in prison, you can still be a god in prison. So, then you recognize how powerful you are at that point. I think that's what drove people like Mandela or Martin Luther, MLK.
Yeah.
They were able to live beyond their physical being. I mean, how else can you explain the kind of life Mahatma Gandhi lived? That life of suffering for his people. That's it's crazy, I also wonder why they don't die quickly.
What do you mean?
Die before they achieve their goal.
Did they die? I mean, didn't Martin Luther die before he achieved his goal? Pretty sure.
So actually, they're supposed to die before they achieve their goal. That's also part of the design.
I don't know if it's part of it or if it's a requirement, but yeah, sometimes it happens like that. I think Martin Luther King's purpose was to put the wheels in motion, but not necessarily to be the guy that just snaps his fingers and it happens. He needed to put all the thoughts. He needed to motivate. Yes. No. Who was talking about the stuff that he was talking about before him?
No one. So
no one. We needed that. We needed that influence.
So every context, or every time period requires the trailblazers, the ones that.
One human being is not going to do it all, but there has to be a beginning. There has to be the pioneer. And then everyone else plays their role in that.
Yeah, that's how you root out the problems to society. That cancer, that surgery we were talking about. I think that we've pretty much figured out how we solve the problem, but look how long it took us to get to that point. We have to have these deep conversations, and it has to go beyond the shallow crap. As long as people are right there at that shallow mess, they're never going to have the time to have conversations like, how do we share love? You know, what is our purpose in life here? Like, they're never going to get to that point because they're discussing their skin color and who used the N word. I mean, it's mind blowing. It's like, it's so dumbed down. How do you spell the difference between the spelling of nigger and nigger with that ER?
Wow.
That's a real conversation.
So why?
How are these people ever going to get to the point of talking
you're right.
about the
How
real
do we
thing?
ever get...
They're never going to.
That's not the real issue. That is not the problem.
The lexicon. That someone came up.
Wow.
Just ridiculous, man. Whether you should wear Black Lives Matter on your t-shirt or not. Whether whether you should kneel during an anthem or not. This is where the debate is. I'm trying to tell you, like, there. Meanwhile, we should be like, we should be 50 floors deeper.
Right.
With the conversation. So I don't know. It's you can look at it from a pessimistic point of view and just throw in the towel like it's a lost cause, bro. Just focus on yourself. Or you can be optimistic and still be civically involved. You know, voting,
voting. Just get out there and vote.
Arguing on YouTube comment section. So you have to where do you stand here? If you're optimistic, then you do that other stuff, the work. If you're pessimistic, you're like, just forget it.
I'm just gonna take care of myself.
I'm gonna just focus on me.
I think eventually people arrive at that conclusion and they move on with their lives and quit trying to advocate for change.
But I think that then takes them to the actual answer, which is change you. When you change you, when a million people change them, then society will change. So just focus on you and make yourself the best version of
absolutely. You're right. If you make yourself the absolute best version of you and you feel great, you empower yourself.
Naturally.
You're obviously going to be trying to empower others.
Thank you very much.
It'll
just be rubbing off.
And there will be a huge difference over time.
It'll be organic.
But
the way it really should happen.
Instead of the fake change that we see every so often when a company decides that they want to publicly make a charity foundation and donate money or offer a grant to a POC business or like send a kid of color to college or something like that.
All the BS. All the freaking BS. Oh, they're gonna put. ESPN's gonna hire another black woman. Whoop-de-woo.
I mean, that's great, but that's not
first black vice presidential candidate. Woo-hoo. Another step forward.
Yay.
This is ridiculous.
So
It's like comedy.
Yeah.
It's theater. These people. Change you.
Yeah, change you.
Everybody change themselves.
Change yourselves, help others change, and just everyone eventually will be way, way better. We're going to do better. We're going to treat each other better.
I mean, it doesn't grow. linearly, it grows exponentially. All that stuff compounds.
Yes.
Because then what you start seeing, like every other year or year after year, there's peace in the world and people are becoming better and better and ascending to a higher and higher dimension.
Exactly. New Earth.
Then we actually bring heaven. See, that heaven, we keep thinking heaven is some external, mysterious place, usually up, not down, but up. I don't know why we choose up.
Yeah, you're right.
Because why couldn't it be down? No, down is hell.
No. It's like we somehow knew higher vibrations are higher and then lower vibrations are like down.
And it's not even right or left or like it can't even be okay. Like, it's west.
No, it's up or
up.
down.
We have to go up.
Wow.
So human beings, we do things and we don't even know.
And it was like instinctual too.
Naturally, we're just like, yeah, heaven is up. I think it's up.
Yeah.
We don't even recognize the fact that heaven is within. We have to bring it to us, create it by being the best version.
I think we think it's up because your vibration has to be high to get there. We just got it, we just interpreted it wrong, but now we know.
The better you are, the better an individual you are, the better the people around you, and the better society collectively. And the more and more better we are, eventually it starts to compound and we start growing exponentially to a point where we can have heaven here on earth. How beautiful would it be?
Quite.
When we're all in harmony and our environments are lush with green, our animals are healthy, and we're communing with each other. That's the heaven.
Mm-hmm.
It's not external. It's not some mysterious
Yeah,
thing.
it's within.
But what I just said will sound like blasphemy to some religious Christians and Islams out there.
In Islam.
Muslims out there.
Wow. Dang. Ouch.
It'll sound like heresy, but it's common. To me, it feels like common sense that we should just be better people here on earth, and we can create that heaven right here. Otherwise, we create hell on earth. Because I've seen people who live in hell.
Yeah, you tell me about them.
I think we keep imagining hell as some external thing, like people burning in flames. No, like they depict in the cartoons. It's always hell.
Yeah.
Someone's burning in a flame.
Yeah.
Hell is in the mind. Like imagine where someone who's depressed is. Isn't that hell? It's like an abyss, an unending hole. That's how they describe it too.
Yeah.
In a sunken place. That's hell. And the moment you liberate that person, you bring them forth into heaven, into a better place. And these concepts, I don't even think they're any more than just the way I described them.
Right.
So we distract ourselves with these temporary worlds that we create, like the school system and the Constitution and all these silly laws.
This is all blasphemy, you know that.
All these things that
He's committing treason.
These things that we've created over time.
Yeah.
To keep us functioning.
Yeah.
Together. They're not eternal. They don't matter.
What matters is you, the real you, the you behind closed doors, the you that is bare when you bear it all out. Like that person, that's who matters. Question is that person in alignment with his true self, with his true purpose? That's the real question. Because if you're in alignment with your true being, nothing else matters. You're coasting at that point.
Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I gotta eat.